oh, now you're singing my song, return on investment. I mean, I can show that even with 1 or 2 day a week remote work, and it doesn't even have to be remote work, it can just be reconfiguring that space. When you talk about going from 250 square foot per person down to 125 or even 100 square foot per person, that's a huge savings in real estate. And so when these new buildings and these new facilities are more productive, when people can work where and when they're most productive, you know, that's a huge impact on the bottom line. Our estimates show that for a typical employee, a typical organization, which has somebody working at home 2.5 days a week, the employer is going to save between $10,000 and $15,000 a year, the result of just real estate absenteeism, because if they're not feeling so well, you know, they can get up that morning and still probably work. Turnover, this is a big impact on whether people stick with the company.
One of the things here is that when you study every aspect of it, when you optimize it for performance, what you end up doing is getting rid of a lot of things that are very expensive. One of them's named space. And so typically we're seeing reductions in space that may be up to 50% of one's portfolio. Now think about that. I'm getting rid of 50%, which actually I don't need. The utilization studies show that we have an over-provision of space. So now I'm reducing the size of the footprint, which gives me a considerable amount of savings to then apply to other things. Some can be applied to the bottom line. Some goes to reinvesting in people, and some goes to investing in technologies or components in the workplace which are proven to be productive and effective.
Workplace and work costs are only one part of the equation. A very smart senior architect said to me once, don't ever forget the most expensive part of a workplace, of the cost per square foot of a workplace, is the salary of the person who uses it. So it's not to be trivial. I mean, cost is obviously important, but it's a balancing and looking at the allocation of cost between workplace, technology, cost of management. One of the fascinating things I've discovered is when you turn people loose and they're able to work in and out of the office whether they want to or not, they need less management. Management span of control can actually go up significantly. So you're reducing your management cost per employee. And that's just as important as your space cost.
Well, you have to look at where you're trying to get return on investment. So one of the things that we've been doing for years from a technology point of view is using the cloud. Right? So we offer our product predominantly, we do self-help, but predominantly we offer as software as a service. So what that allows you to do is to start off slowly and to start to build that. You're not building big data centers anymore. You look at IT, what have they gone? They've gone to virtualization. So you buy one server and you have many different people using it. It's back to the time sharing pieces, but done slightly different. We could take those lessons on what they're doing, and it's not necessarily new costs. It's a reallocation of existing costs. It's also the ability to find those ways to save the money as you're doing that. You know, during the last economic downturn, a lot of executives came to us and said, I'm being asked over and over, how much available space do I have? Where can I save spaces? You know, if I'm doing a reduction in force, what can I do? And it's a matter of having those tools in place and being able to answer that, because these are executive level questions are being asked. Mergers and acquisitions, merge with Sharing Plow, and they were able to find, and this is documented in a couple of presentations they did, I think it was $50 to $60 million of additional savings beyond what they originally expected. So it's a matter of looking at those efficiencies. The other thing that we've seen trending across our client base, we deal with a lot of global companies. Real estate used to be individual. So somebody would have some set of policies in California and New York and Germany and in London and in Tokyo. Everything would be different. Everybody would manage differently. What's happening now is when you do that, you can't measure, you can't understand what's done. What we're starting to do is bring them together and create a centralized solution. There's still some tailored now, and there's still some policy. Somebody wants a 3-level approval. Somebody wants free-flowing space assignments. You can do stuff like that. But what you're starting to do now is get the collaboration across your organization, and that allows you now to measure and to understand where you want, because people are shifting all over the globe in order to accomplish their jobs.